All right, today Kyle and I are going to talk to you a little bit about finding business within your current business. We typically in the past have not really had too much in-depth time. We've put some plans together, but we've actually never, I think, been held accountable to actually hold those results throughout the whole entire year. So Kyle and I are going to go through some things, some tools with you guys to kind of show you how you can find some certain business and then make those goals. So we'll kind of start with some information finding, some fact finding, both with a spreadsheet that I put together, and then we'll dive into sales analytics. And then Kyle, I'll hand the mic to Kyle. He'll talk a little bit about what his side is probably going to cover.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. So the whole part, to me, the point of us coming together, it's a lot of fun. We have a great time. We celebrate the year. But having all of us together, there's so much information that can be had. And I don't think we do a good enough job at times of really capitalizing on that. I think we can really learn a lot. And so we want to break up into groups during my session and really start to goal plan and put the information in Salesforce and actually submit some account plans or account opportunities to Dave so we can start the year off right. I mean, Jeff and I were talking last night, and Jeff said for our steel, they started their planning back in typically November for the following year.
December. Yep. So they have what they call the TM Summit. They gather all their guys up together, one day to celebrate and 2 days of planning for 2019, which is over a month away, right? So we're actually already behind the 8 ball starting right now, but we still have time. You know, you'll plot out your goals by quarter typically. Our plans will be to have specific customers with specific targets and then have a plan drawn out by the time we leave here today. And then we'll each be held accountable. Store manager and TM will obviously work together, along with we'll be pulling in Charlie. We just got done talking about utilizing Charlie more. This is also going to help us pull Charlie in and utilize him more as well. Mike certainly can step in and help out with, Eric's guys down in Milwaukee. We're going to, probably expect you to do the same thing with, some of your accounts as well. So we'll partner up a little bit and go through some of that stuff. And, we'll go out there and kick some butt, take some business back, eat somebody else's pie.
Right. Yeah, I mean, theories and training are great whenever we have these, topics that everyone talks on. But to me, putting whether it's an AC package together and getting that ready to go, or, the goal planning, we're going to have Dusty on a call hopefully around 11:30 to talk a little bit more about Full Force and the opportunities we have there. I don't think any of us really know the limitations on the Full Force opportunities we can present to dealers. So I think what I want to get out of that conversation with Dusty is, okay, so what can we set up? What is too aggressive? Just to kind of lay out a blueprint for us as we go in, because I'd like to have at least 10 Full Force opportunities, which obviously affects us as TMs, but store managers even more directly, because you'll probably be supplying those items. So, but that's what we want to talk about today.
All right, so I think what we'll do first is step through the partnerability test, right? And then pretty simple spreadsheet. I did email it to everybody. There are some formulas in there. I can show you how to use it real quick if anybody has any questions. Let's see.
That was Monday, right?
I think it was Sunday. I don't remember.
Sunday the 11th, Sunday 11:42 a.m.
Anyone have any questions so far?
What is Full Force?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think, did you email it to him?
I might not have.
I might have deleted it before I.
No, I don't remember. I can email it to you.
Didn't, I can do it right now then.
Okay. So basically what this is a spreadsheet that is going to help you guys figure out. Now, you might say, okay, I know HJ Faust is I get along with them really well, and they're buying thermostats from me, and they're buying line sets from me, at least you think, right? So until you actually dive into that and figure out what that is, this is kind of like a report card, if you will, for your dealer. Now you can change the categories that are on top if you want. Doesn't matter to me. These are typically the 10 that I used in the past to kind of grade my customers, and it's not necessarily an A, B, C, or D, although it ends up being that way, but you're going to give them an amount. So basically, out of each category, you're either going to give them a 0 if they don't qualify for anything. You're going to give them a 5 if they kind of do, kind of don't. And you're going to give them a 10 if you think they fully meet that. Right, so those are your 3 options for each category.
Do you want to talk about how many dealers we're going to be looking at?
You are going to be looking through your entire customer list. You're going to do this for everybody.
Today?
Yep. It does not take, it calculates it for you. Boom, you're done. It's pretty simple, pretty easy. This process should not take long at all, actually. Troy.
He has people.
Yep. Yes. Oh, it's right. Troy does have people.
Run through one as an example.
All right. So I'll just use AMA. Their credit score, Brent, probably is 10, right? I mean, we have no credit problems. They just took a $26,000 order, right? So we're giving them a 10.
1 through 10, 10 being best.
Nope, it's a 0, 5, or a 10, right? Condition of their trucks. So are they driving around in rusty old beaters? Maybe, their ladder's hanging on by a thread. The exhaust is super loud. That's obviously probably going to be a 0. So you kind of have to remove yourself a little bit because you might be friends with this guy, get along with him really well, but I mean, you got to be honest with yourself. Are the trucks good or not? AMA's trucks are all pretty much brand new. I know that for a fact. So he's getting a 10. Do they advertise? Do they participate in the plans with you guys for advertising Lennox with us? It doesn't necessarily have to be fully. Maybe they don't. Maybe they're a Lennox dealer and they don't advertise with us. Maybe they're a Bryant dealer and they do advertise with Bryant. Technically, they still get a 10. Maybe they advertise Mitsu. Obviously, don't get that from us, so maybe you just give them a 5. It all depends. I don't think AMA does advertising.
So they
Or do
did last year because we gave it to them.
But we gave it to them. Okay.
They're still deciding on what they're going to do for next year. I've met with them and discussed it already.
Okay.
But they do with other brands.
Yeah. Do they? Yeah, I think they probably did. So we could give them. You want to give them a 5 or a 10?
Let's give them a 5.
5 because they haven't done it with us. Okay. So tech savvy. So by this, basically, I mean, are they up to date with all of the technology that's going on? Do they install Wi-Fi thermostats? Do they sell modulating furnaces? Are they selling, heat pumps that communicate? Dave Lennox Signature Series equipment. Are they up to date with all the IAQ stuff? Whether it's geofencing, Ecobee, all that type of stuff. AMA is actually probably not too bad. I think maybe there's more than them that are tech savvy, but they do pretty well. So
I would only give them a 5. I feel like this is an area for improvement.
Yep. Do they participate in our programs? So this is pretty broad spectrum. Are they? Do they do all of our promotions that we come out with at the stores? Do they participate in that? Do they buy the thermostat deals that we come out with? Do they buy the truck stocks, things like that? AMA typically, because probably myself and Brent hound them pretty hard, they do actually participate in all of those. It could also be advertising. It could be any programs that you guys want to have included in there. It's totally up to you. Yeah, do they attend? Yep, exactly.
Do they come to training at the store?
Yes. Yep.
I wouldn't-
Oh, that's actually in the next one.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
But I say we give them a 10, probably. Yeah? Okay. Training and services. And this is going to be for both service and sales. You can kind of attend. I think they've attended some of our training that we've had at Green Bay. Although they have not gone to, I don't think they've gone to Vision Tech, did they? So maybe just a 5. Now here's a big one. Respect your time. So this was always huge with me because if I could remember back in the last year, if I set up appointments with them, did they actually follow through? Did they show up? So I had an appointment at 8 a.m. with them in the morning, and I got there at 8 a.m. and they were like, not even there. forgot I was there, it's kind of like you're not respecting my time. We had this appointment set up. I called the day before, the 2 days before, just to confirm it. There's sometimes I would give guys, if that happened more than twice in a year, I would give them a 0.
I think you can even talk on that as far as respecting time. If you're there and they cannibalize it, they take too much. Yeah, I was just saying, respecting your time could also mean they take too much of your time.
Right, you set aside an hour meeting and they take 3 hours.
That's right. Yep.
What about in general, like a store manager could look at that different. When you get call after call after call after call, and they'll get a 0 in participating programs and a 0 for respect time because they're
Exactly.
annoying.
Yeah, and that's kind of why we wanted to break into groups, because you will get the store manager's kind of opinion and what they're seeing, but you're also, and you're going to get obviously the TM side of things, right? So that's kind of what we were shooting for here.
AMA gets a 10, no doubt.
10.
In fact, they're like, you come in whenever you want, we'll make time for you.
Yeah. Do they buy in bulk? So for you guys, it'd be buy programs, do they participate in those? Do they buy boxes of line sets? Do they buy boxes of thermostats? Things like that.
They only do, like, 5 programs, they only do 1 a year.
This is totally your thing, Dottie.
Once in a while, they do 1 a year store thing.
How big of a buy is it? Is it like
10 or 20.
Oh.
My guys are only up 100.
I would maybe give, if they did at least one, I would give them a 5.
And that's what we're gonna go with for AMA.
Okay. Age of the company. So here's a big one. A lot of people may not necessarily think this is important. I always did, because if you've been around since 1950, 60, you name it, that's going to give you more of established company base than what it is, more reliable. They're going to be there because you guys are investing your time with this guy, right? We want to determine who is our best targets to invest your time with. Your guys' time is valuable, right? So obviously if the company's been around for a while, we're going to want to, spend a little more time with them. They're going to be there down the road. Bigger our investment return on them is. AMA's been around since I think 1983, something like that. So that, and in my book, that's pretty old. I would probably give them a 10.
Thanks.
But as a company, Dottie, as a company. Yeah. What were you gonna say, Brent? Or no?
Not only would I say the age of the company, but are they a well-known, established brand in their market, right? I mean, does everybody know who they are? Have they been in business long enough that pretty much everybody sees their trucks around town?
Exactly. So well-known company.
And definitely a 10.
Yeah.
They've been around 30 plus years, 40 years.
Yep. Product diversity. So are they? You can look at this a couple different ways. As far as are they dual branded dealer? Technically, with a dual branded dealer, we could look at it as, can we earn more business and take that second product away, or are they like, do they sell everything under the sun? Kind of negative maybe, factor. So then you would lessen that. I don't know. AMA actually sells like 3 brands, so
If you could include Payne, it'd probably be a 4th brand.
4th brand. Yeah. So I mean, they're definitely not getting a 10.
Definitely not kidding. But every year they've grown with us.
Yes. True.
I would say probably 5.
5. Okay. So that's our last column. It did not take us very long. You don't have to think a whole lot of in depth, Troy. So you don't have to go to your people to do this. So your scorecard values over on the side. This is basically how I graded my guys. So 100 to 90 is an A. 70 to 85 is a B. And those are your 2 customers that you're actually going to want to work with. You're going to want to stay in this area for sure. Right here. Obviously your A targets, you're going to start with them, then your B, So C, these A and B guys, you guys should be seeing, I used to see my A and B guys, some A guys once a week, B guys every other week, depending on where you're at. You guys have a little bigger territories. The C and D, D, I would go through this and why am I seeing that guy even once a month? He's not worth my time.
What if there's an opportunity there?
That's what I think.
No, if you score that low, the opportunity, the chances with you getting that are not good, right? So this is designed to weed those people out. If you're that low, you don't want to waste your time. So
That should go to Coner or inside sales guys.
Yeah, that's up to-
See if they could possibly do something with them for future.
you could do that. You could, say, hey, here's my D guys or C guys, however you want to do it. Aaron and Madison, can you work with these guys? Give them a call. Maybe they will come up higher. I don't know. But that's basically how the spreadsheet works. It doesn't take very long to do. You can put your account numbers in there. You can put just their names. How many do you guys have on your rosters right now? I don't know.
48, 30.
I knew you were going to have the highest amount. Yeah. How many do you have?
30.
Yeah.
That's all the new business we've got in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I was just
So
gonna
that's
say,
all your business,
I'm at
guys.
35, I think.
Yeah.
Did your points that came off and came to you? Those off?
Yes. I'm looking at that.
So basically what we'll do is once we break into groups, we'll tackle this, you guys will tackle this together and blow through this list. I think probably within, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes probably.
20 to 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have-
Jump with the store manager and go through it right now? Or just do it
I think,
solo?
well, we can do that, or we were thinking about we're going to cover the sales analytics part, because then once you take these A and B guys, what you're going to do is you're going to come up with a target, and our initial target was 5 guys, right?
Yeah, so our initial target was 5 dealers because we need to make it, achievable. We can't have all these and try to come up with these in-depth plans. So 5 dealers, look through whether they're A or B, and then look through the opportunities, kind of dive into, to Jeff's point earlier, we think they're buying thermostats from us, but analytics will tell us definitively if they are. So that's what we're going to do there. And then, from there, depending on where the time is, whether Dusty calls in or not, but I like to continue on that trend and then start putting in plans. I'll work with Eric. I figured Troy and Dottie will work with Ryan, Brent obviously with Jeff, and then Mike maybe jump around
He can work with us.
to the groups. Okay.
I mean, I have to use, like some of the new guys that I took from.
Oh, true. Yeah. And then Charlie, he's going to be integral in everything we do with these plans, because I think I want to incorporate, I don't know about everybody else, but I like to incorporate training as we put these together. Not only are we going to give you this opportunity to grow with us, and here's how we're going to incentivize it, but we're going to, bring in Charlie or Zoom or however we're going to utilize them. So, yeah. Do you want to run through?
Do you want me to? You want me to do the
Up to you.
sales? Or do you want me to demo it as you go? It doesn't matter. I got it up.
How you talk, Jeff? Jeff, be your people.
I'll be your
Do you want me to do that? I can. You can.
Yeah.
2 hands.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Troy, this is Salesforce. I only riffed on that because you made the comment yesterday. So I'm just going off of your self-pity.
Well, I'm glad it's Eddie. Very Eddie.
So how come they
Eddie.
Eddie's a new code word for Eddie now.
Yeah.
Eddie.
And Dottie, once they get all the plans in place, you're probably going to have 5 or 6 like we had for most of the year. But they eliminated some of those because of, tallying up the final numbers for 2018.
I have a feeling this is going to be rough. This takes a lot of bandwidth.
To bring this up?
Yes.
Should we hop off? Everybody else? That's what I'm saying.
Do it.
Well, yeah, we can hop off if.
I'm recording, I'm not gonna use it, so I can do. I
Okay.
can play it out for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I can log off of mine as well.
Run us off the VPN.
I'll be.
That wasn't too bad.
So do I.
So everybody knows how to get to this point, right?
Well, I guess anyone who's uncomfortable with it, why don't they stay on? If you're comfortable, why don't you log off? because then you can follow along and not have to be as hands-on, I guess. But
I don't care if I don't understand how to do this crap. I'm
Hey,
gonna ask
listen,
until I know.
I was gonna say now is the time to do it. I mean, you're with your team, I mean, now is the time to admit that you don't know how to do something, right?
Yeah.
So there's no shame at all.
Mr. Schieffer down the road and get off his lawn.
What are you laughing at?
You, well, him at you.
There's never laughing with me. It's always at me.
Okay.
All right, so we're at this point. Who wants to be with it?
Yeah.
There's a couple different ways to do what the right arrow.
I just clicked on the right arrow.
Now you could also use this drop down as well. This right here will show you all of the tabs available within Signature Sales. But it's now taken a while.
Do I have signatures now? Yeah. Yeah, I use it a lot.
So if you click on the right arrow, since we're waiting for it, it just goes to the next one. If I
Yes.
if I
Right.
do that drop down, it shows me all the boxes.
You can
Right arrow
pick
just
your-
goes to the next one to the right.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
So you would see, I think it's all everything you're seeing here. Well, this is the sales drill down, right?
Yeah.
Where do you see, oh, I see now. It's like, where do you see the title of what it
Mhm.
is? The
Yeah.
of?
2019.
Over here.
Okay.
Jeff, what were you doing in May? We were killing it in May and June.
All right, where do you want to go next? You tell me.
Well, I mean, it's up to you. I mean, I think we're all going to have as we I missed the joke. As we better understand the program, I think everyone's gonna have a favorite. I know I have a favorite tab that I use, but I mean, if you want to go into sales and product drill down, otherwise transactional sales.
So let's set up a scenario. right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were using AMA.
Mm-hmm.
So
Let's do that.
it should be one of our goals to grow their parts and supplies business, right? As a team, me and you, and Josh. So how would we go about targeting a product? Let's say IAQ. I'm just throwing it out there. And so let's see
Yep.
if we're getting that IAQ business.
And,
Which could turn into a filter.
well, why don't you draw it for us?
Filter more into-
But there is so much information here, and so a lot of the tabs, whether you want to look at a particular year, month. So for right now, I guess I'd like to start with the customer name. I don't know about you, Jeff, but obviously, or number, whatever one we'll find AMA. Oh, that was easy. All right.
You type in the number and you have either the X or the X would bring you back, but we want to do the green check mark.
That's right. Well, we'll slow down.
You have to highlight the over here.
Scroll over to the left.
Take it.
Oh, you didn't highlight it, yeah.
You gotta highlight the
Scroll
number.
right here. Keep going down and see customer name.
Yeah.
See,
I don't have custom. Oh,
Yes, you do.
look down
You
below.
gotta-
Down below.
Section.
keep going below. Yeah.
There you go.
See the numbers
There's a
populating
function on your
automatically?
computer
Yeah.
that I noticed that because you're clicking on the bar, just clicking the bar instead of scrolling with the scroller bar, well, you're
This?
missing some.
Hmm.
I noticed that that's relative.
AMA.
Yes.
And then we'll let.
You can enter your, Most gives you a lot more,
This is good. Let's take some time and.
might I look at.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I really wanted to spend a lot of time here. Yeah.
Yep. No, just click on that. Highlight it. Now you can see the little bar.
That training in Dallas helped me a lot.
Yeah.
I needed that.
I forget how to lock that thing.
Your phone, right?
Oh, how to lock it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I went through and did all the MVPs and showed them all the SL parts and all that. And I kept clicking the back arrow on the top.
Mm,
And it-
And also I'm writing it down and also,
Highlighted.
also there were 12 and then also SLPs, that's
All
45.
your graphics are changed, but now it's
Jeez, Jim, so 45 SLPs into this.
all the numbers for that account.
And it was like, no, it was my whole territory.
All right, so Jeff chose a customer, in this case AMA, and I scrolled up, Jeff, I apologize, but up here, this bar right here will show you all the, I guess, yeah, the filters that you've set, right? So right now we're on customer. There's not a number, but can you scroll over that with your cursor? Over customer.
Go to the customer number, doesn't it?
What? That's interesting. Okay. Well, typically, if you chose a customer, it should bring up their name. I'm surprised it doesn't in this
It
case.
says it's one of 940.
Right, but I think,
When I put my cursor over it, it says one of 36.
but it doesn't give you a customer name. Do something really quick, Jeff. Why don't you go back to customer number, go down, or just close out. Yeah, if you want to eliminate a filter, click the X. Can you go down to customer name instead of number? I'm curious if you go to AMA via, that direction.
You would think that the account number would be more specific.
No, I mean he was on the account. I'm curious as to why it's not showing.
Still shows name. I know what you're trying to do, Kyle.
Now let's scroll up again. Interesting. Okay. Okay.
And it still gives you one of. what
Yeah.
the-
Yeah. That hasn't always been the case, but okay. So this shows everything, right? It shows 2017 year-to-month sales, 2018. Now we want to go into product category, correct?
Yeah.
We want to.
From here, you can break it down a couple different ways.
Yep.
Product category or product family. Really, in search job, you said product category.
Sure. I mean, it depends. Like you're, I think, going to get into. It depends on how broad and how specific you want to make it. So click on product category just so we can show what's under there. So, for us, full force, obviously parts and supplies is huge, just to kind of get a general overall understanding of how much of their business is, parts and supplies.
You see that?
Yes, yeah. So,
Yeah, done it.
product category,
Should bring up commercial equipment, other, and parts and supplies. Select parts and supplies.
How do I lock them up on the top? So when I go back, I don't go back to my whole thing. I have the name and then products catalog. You know what I'm asking?
Yeah.
How do I lock it right there at the? See, I've done it differently. I've done product catalog and then name, and then I keep changing the name.
That's exactly how you're supposed to do
Yeah,
it.
you could do that.
I don't know how to do that.
You just said that, how you do that.
No,
You just
how
change-
do you lock it?
So
He doesn't want to change it.
you don't want to change what?
Scroll up to the top.
let's
So
change
I
the
want to go to
name.
parts and supplies, and I want to change the name.
Okay, so you scroll up to the top
Yes.
and X out
Last column.
the name, or, so you could just close the name, it would open all your dealers back up.
Yep.
Or go to the left, where it says, no, down. Those ones, those tabs. And go to the customer name or number again. And yeah, just change a new one.
Let's keep changing.
So where I have.
There is a locking mechanism, though. You could do.
So where I have customer picked right now, and I X'd out of that, I would keep product category open,
Yeah.
and I would
It'd be open to
just
everybody.
changed it to a
Yes.
new
Yeah.
customer. It
Yeah.
would bring it back up in the same format.
So you delete it totally of that customer, reopen it.
No, I
in.
didn't want
That's
that.
not it.
No, I know. I didn't want that.
So probably,
Right
you just have, if you don't close it on the top first.
I did.
No.
but
I
if you
forget
don't close it on the top first, you'll
What
have
is it?
both customers
I know
open,
what
if you
you're
just
talking
add it
about. I
in
don't know how to
and
do it.
don't unselect the old one.
Give me a minute.
Yanni, somebody email Mark Yanni,
Or Claudia Miller.
or pretty much anybody on that team. Mark,
Yeah.
He's just a director now. Oh,
All right, we'll get back to that because there is a way to lock it. I need to.
He lost Patrick.
I apologize. I need to look through that.
Patrick was a good guy. I don't know where he went.
Oh, he left.
No, not Patrick Parrish.
Well, Patrick Harris doing a good job at a pretty high level, which too bad he didn't stay, 'cause he could have moved into the factory, well, I'm sure.
Okay, so right now we have parts and supplies, and it kind of shows the trend. I don't know what happened in, yeah, I'm not sure what happened in August, September there, but
2017.
yeah, they spiked. So,
Is this information you think that would be beneficial if we showed our customers? Do you think that would generate more sales if we were to
yeah,
ask and say, hey, look, you guys do a great job with us intermittently.
Yeah.
How can we get this curve to be flatter?
I utilize this information a lot in spreadsheets that I'll print and send directly to a dealer or bring in with me. But you can also have pie charts that you show them the makeup of their business so they can kind of fully understand how much they're actually giving us in say IAQ. And when it's a sliver of the overall pie of even parts and supplies, then hey, there's an opportunity there.
Another thing I'll say, Kyle, is
Yeah.
the majority of our business owners and operators that we work with, they're always trying to figure out how to do this in their business. So when we show them that we can do
Right.
this with their business, they're like, oh, this
Yep.
is awesome. This is the information that I'm looking for, and you're bringing it to me. Thank you very much.
Yeah. If the mic didn't pick it up, Brent was saying that a lot of our dealers want to emulate this type of analytics, and when we show them, and I even have one of my dealers that is on Salesforce and does this sort of analytics. So,
Can you scroll down? Here's my question is, look at your, scroll up a little bit. No. I want those two graphs on the top. Okay, stop. Year-to-date month sales, year-to-date product quantity.
Mhm.
Okay. Look how much your sales were in 2017, but your quantity was down. So you're selling it more at a higher price. And I'm always looking at that of guys are like, well, I don't care about a sales number. I want to know how many black nipples I sold.
It depends on what they want to prove to you that they're doing great.
Yeah.
It's what they want to know, It's weird, right? So I know you're talking about it, and it's like, no, I need to know my total sales. No, I need to know my total quantity. It depends on what level, what area they're trying to prove that they're doing great with.
I can answer, I know this, I can answer the reason for this without diving into it. I already know why.
CDQs.
No, we sold a big ass job to them in 2017, and they bought all the accessories from us. They bought
Okay.
6 systems,
All right, that makes
everything
sense.
from us, all the accessories
yeah,
in 2017.
that or it's a mix, right? A product. They're
They were also becoming Lennox dealer in 2017. So they were buying more parts and supplies from us, maybe airflow, AC packages, and then they became a Lennox dealer and started buying more equipment. So quantity wise, yeah.
Because those are the two graphs I'm always looking at, and everyone's always arguing. I don't want a sales number. I want quantity boxes. What LV boxes I'm moving? I'm moving boxes.
And when I use that for quantities, I'll use the tab we'll get to eventually, but I use the stocking program one. That's great because then you can export it to Excel, and you can either sort it on dollar value or quantity, and that's how I kind of formulate a mock buy order, for instance, with dealers to show them. So we wanted to get into IAQ, correct? So we did product category up to this point. We're now on parts and supplies. Do you want to go into product family now? And what this does, if we had not gone into product category to begin with, this product family list would have been far more substantial. Now it's only breaking it down based on what is deemed a part and supply. So
How do you scroll down?
Jeff is showing you right now, yeah.
Okay.
Or for a laptop, just use your, the pad.
And if you scroll down in the dark gray, that means no longer available? What is that?
Those are items. No, right. Those are items that you did not specify. So now, as I mentioned before, had parts and supplies not been chosen, those would not be shadowed. Or there was a point, I think Jeff made it, they had not purchased that in the past. That's also a possibility. If they haven't purchased it, it's impossible to click on it and see any analytics because there wouldn't be any. So, a couple different reasons why that's shadowed out.
I don't know, capacitor, dual capacitors and circuit capacitors.
That could be ones they have not purchased. Or that's strange. We'll go back up to the unshadowed parts.
Type it in.
So let's see what. Yeah, type in a capacitor, for instance. See what comes up. So
So if you type a catalog number, it's not gonna tell you, you gotta go to the catalog, not the phone.
I know
You
the
can
answer.
drill down to that.
I know the answer. So if you do cap again, I'll explain. So the one in white, they've purchased from us before.
correct.
So all of this runs off of SAP. So it's all the descriptions, it's all the input that's come from SAP. So the capacitor is either that's OEM that they've purchased and they haven't purchased aftermarket, or it's vice versa.
Correct.
So that's why there's multiple categories that are kind of the same.
You're saying white they bought from us and the dark they have not?
That's correct. Yep. Yeah.
And that's because SAP calls whatever capacitors
Yep.
they bought.
A run. Yeah.
So we're trying to find IAQ.
Correct. Yeah. So in this one, we can't be as broad, I don't think. So
Let's just say filters.
okay.
Motor filter.
So I just got filter dryers or return air filter grills.
And that now, do you have all your customers chosen, or do you have one specific customer? So once again, they have not purchased a filter from you.
So boom.
But she doesn't even have that.
See how easy that was?
Might want to sell them a filter. Just
Yeah.
That where it said media filters. Yeah, it doesn't give that option at all.
Okay. Let me look.
Got the media.
So
I
Jeff,
think
we're
I
not,
wish
we're
it
not
gave a
doing
name
too
on it.
good.
No, we are not doing well.
No,
We're not
let,
doing well.
And I already know why. It's because AMA has a company that comes in and actually stocks their filters for them.
nope,
Hard
sorry.
program to.
A hard program to beat. I mean, I knew it already, but you know, you'd be surprised at the amount of things when you drill down this low that you're like, oh yeah, that's right. I can't, you know, sell them filters, or that's right. I thought I was selling them filters. Like, I can't believe, like Brent's reaction. I can't believe they haven't, you know, $20. What? Something's not, you know, right there. We're definitely not getting our piece of the pie for the filters from them for one reason or another. And then it's up to you guys to determine, so is this a worthy target to actually pursue out of one of your 5, you know, from there. So once you choose your 5 customers and you know, drill down, you know, to your individual targets, it's up to you to decide where you think you guys would benefit the most from it, and be the most successful, right?
So from now, from a TM level, and I don't mean to steal your thunder, but we would go and do an account plan and opportunity for filters.
Yep.
And then I would work with Jeff and I would bring that plan to him, or maybe I would chatter him in there, and I would say, Jeff, let's work on this together. You know, on our weekly meetings or our bi-weekly meetings, let's put a plan in place to go over there and get some of this business.
Yeah. So Brent was mentioning that if filters are something that you want to go after for a particular dealer, you have the conversation with the store manager, or vice versa. The store manager knows about an opportunity and tells the TM. And I also think that's a great time to bring Dusty into the conversation and say, hey, this particular company, April or whomever it is coming in and actually stocking their filters. Here's what they're paying for it. We can't come close on price. What other ideas might you have to utilize? So that's what I want to know from Dusty calling in, is I think we don't know enough about what we can put in place. And instead of sending an opportunity back and forth with Dave for a couple of weeks, it's like, well, let's know right away what we can do.
So a question that I have, and I've had this with a couple of dealers, the disposable, like 1 or 2 inch filters, whether it's residential or commercial, the 1 or 2 inch filters, they say, I want a specific brand. And I want to ask Dusty this question. They say, I only want to use Purolator filters. I don't care what the price is. That's the brand that I want. Can you get them for me? Can you get them competitively? I'll buy box quantity.
Mm-hmm.
How would we go about that as a full force opportunity with Dusty on a specific brand?
It's a great question. Yeah, especially a brand we don't sell. So if it's a vendor direct opportunity, how can we somehow roll that into a full force?
Yeah.
That's a great question. Yeah. So where would you,
Write that down somewhere so we don't forget that.
Mike?
Do you think that Signature Sales Analytics would capture the vendor direct?
It does. You can break it down by that type of order.
Yeah, you put in 97319 or whatever the number is, I think.
Yeah.
It'll show you.
Okay, I just wasn't certain if, in the terms of filters, for instance, all of a sudden you get them to
That's right,
commit and
yeah.
you send them $1,500 worth of filters
Mhm.
direct from Pure Labor, and does Signature Sales Analytics understand that that is a filter for parts and supplies?
No,
Now
it'll go into the 97319.
Right. It won't designate what it was, but it will tell you it was vendor direct based on the 97319 number. So,
I don't know if he has access to it, but maybe that's a question that we can say, moving forward, how are we tracking these?
mhm.
'Cause I
Yeah.
think right now it just comes under like miscellaneous.
Right. Right.
Can you look, you can look in here and look at a 97319
Mm-hmm.
for customers.
Yeah.
And I think actually, when.
So back it
you
all
got
the
an
way
email
out,
from,
Jeff.
like, You got an email from, I don't remember, one of the other DMs asking about 97319 numbers, and I looked through all of ours, and we were really good, I thought, as a district of making sure we move those out.
So instead of going back and doing the back.
Yep, I'll just do the X-Bike, I figured it out.
Alright.
That was more just a general.
I was just trying to figure out how to block it.
I just wanted to hear your voice.
So Jeff, even get rid of name. I want to see all of your customer list, how much we've done in vendor direct. So if you go to catalog number, I think,
No, so this customer list will show yours
I believe it does.
as a store manager. I
Just
think.
put 97319 and
Yeah.
let it rip.
Down here.
Oh wow.
You check in maybe vendor?
There's a material number.
That's,
I don't know. it's-
that's a cap number section, you're entering, that doesn't come up.
Yeah.
Material number. You might be thinking though.
no.
It's not letting me. Oh, there we go.
Okay. Why don't you click on, for anybody who doesn't know, when you see these three dots here on the bottom, it means there are other options. So they could not fit all of the different filters on one page. So do me a favor and click on that. It's more for looking at in general, but it's also gives me the ability to look at non-Linux part, healthy climate.
We're on the bottom, so.
Yeah, and here's another option too. I mean, healthy climate, you can basically, we were talking about IAQ before. If we want to know what they buy in healthy climate, there's an option right there. But can you scroll up? Or that's it. Here's what I was looking at over here. So a lot of times what I'll do, yeah, vendor direct, that's a good question.
Under the order type,
Could be,
on the right-hand side column, isn't there a specific order type for vendor direct or not?
No.
it's based on that 97319 number. But I will tell you, like, whether it's
Darn it.
a gratis order, a lot of times we can print that report and show a dealer what we gratis to them. So kind of to go right hand in hand, Dave, with the giveaway report. But then looking at what they purchased on buy orders. So you have ZMPO. That's a designation for a buy order for those that don't know. And a lot of times I'll run that report to show them what they purchased on a buy, and consequently what they did not purchase on a buy order and what they could have gained.
Does that break each buy out of what month they did the buy?
Well,
Or is it just-
Said,
that if you click on that, that's going to bring up any buy order. But then if you say click on December, it's gonna break it down that way.
You could run this report, show them what they bought as a buy order, and then run the report for a specific category and say, look at, you sold, 10 of these EL16s, but you didn't buy them on the buy order. But last year you sold 10 of them during this time period.
Yeah.
Put 10 of them on the buy order. You sold them last year.
And I actually did that quite a bit this year, towards the end of the year, with parts and supplies. And a lot of people are hesitant. It's difficult to get our dealers to change their habits, whether it's putting parts and supplies on the actual order instead of the free product. But when I break it down, I show them all the parts and supplies that they bought, say, in a quarter where we had a buy order, and what they didn't buy, put on that order. And then I put it into a buy order spreadsheet and show them, hey, you could have earned $1,500 in free product had you put that on an order. So it's a good way to show them what they're missing and how to, yeah.
It's just interesting that on here we tried to search IAQ and it wasn't on there, but if you look under the residential product, it says both third-party IAQ and Lennox IAQ. So we must yeah, we just must not have looked at the right location.
You okay, Dottie? Okay. I thought you had your hand up. I mean, it is overwhelming even for people that understand it. You could get lost. I think, Ryan was talking about the link. Same thing. You can get lost in here trying to figure out certain things. So where would you like to go from here? You want me to run?
But Dottie, I think the advantage that you have.
I'm going to go. Can I go through something on here? Here, I'm going to give this to you. You can.
Understand how SAP thinks. You understand the hierarchy in SAP. This is pretty much just using that lingo in this reporting.
Sure.
So I think you have an advantage there.
Puts it in graphs.
Yeah. Essentially, yeah.
It's going to learn what makes sense to you.
Right.
When you're looking for stuff with dealers.
So, you want to just.
Well, I'll give you the mic because you're explaining it.
Oh, that's fine. So we were talking about the arrows before, and I mentioned how this drop-down will show you all the sheets available to us. And so here I am clicking on the top. Everybody is there so far?
No, hang on.
Okay.
You got rid of all your.
And Dottie, X out of all the filters you have on top there.
Yeah, but I want to get rid of my filters first. Okay.
Okay. So I'll just go through. So I just want to show you that they're all right there in case you know which one you want to go to. But let's go back to the top, and we'll just kind of arrow over to show you the different, how they look different as we go. So you'll notice the filters are on top on the transactional sales detail here. And this is where you can dive in to more detail. So, let's just choose, you mentioned HJ Faust before. Let's just put them in.
Whose computer is this?
Mine.
All right, so here's kind of everything right now, and I don't have it based on year, so all of the different, let's just.
They didn't do $1 million. That's a 3-year window, right?
Correct, yeah, it's all the years are included right now. So if I look at 2018.
So you put in a customer number or a name?
Either one, whatever you're, it'll bring up the same information.
But when this comes up, it's not giving you who that is.
No, and that's not always the case.
It's supposed to happen.
That's what's driving me nuts. It's like, I
Her
don't
name
even.
is supposed to be up.
Yeah, I don't know. This is something that I don't know why it's doing it that way.
Okay.
So I don't have an answer.
But if
So-
you put in the customer number, then it's them,
Yeah, but if I'm switching to a different guy after that, I'm like,
Right. Who did I just do? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's a fair point. I don't know the reason. So I'm just going to click on 2018 here. And remember, like Jeff mentioned before, always click the green check mark. It'll auto-populate, but it won't set it as a filter if you don't hit the green check mark. I'm going to X out of here. And so, last year they did, $544,000. GP is low. We know they're a new construction dealer. And just about everything in our price book is on CDQ for them. So there's the GP.
But you're still making 18%.
Right. It could be worse. So this information is wonderful, and I want to show you what I do. So I'm going to go back here. I apologize. I'm going to go I clicked on.
And just so you guys know on that comment, that yes, they're still making 18%, but just remember, a lot of new construction guys are not using the other parts of our business, rebates, support, training, co-op. These guys particularly are.
And they are.
When we do a net waterfall, they're probably more like around 15 or maybe even 14, depends on what they use.
Well, we should be getting back, if any of the GP is negative, we're just getting back to 8%. Right?
If it's negative, but if it's not negative, it's above that 10% mark.
Right.
We're just giving away GP.
And this is a specific instance, but we're working with them to split their business more RNC and AOR kind of 50-50, and they're doing more and more AOR. The problem is they have that new construction mentality, so they're looking for that new construction price on
Sometimes we have to
replacement.
give away. Guys, we just do
Correct,
it. It's
correct.
part of it, but it's balance. So if you look at your territory,
Well-
your territory is running 25%. You have something to give away.
Yeah,
For a purpose, we can be in business.
right.
Balancing act, and we have to be willing to take back to you guys.
And this particular customer grew quite a bit. I mean, they grew over 100 and, I'll have to look in, different story.
Any other branch?
No.
That's right. Now you add-
So, and I was amazed throughout everything we went through that they did not, because there was always that threat, especially with the new owner with Ty coming in. He's very aggressive, and it's kind of, he always hangs that out there. It's like, well, I could bring out another brand. I'm like, yeah, you could, but
I mean, how long are we gonna let these guys use that, you know?
well, it goes one ear out the other, you know, but yeah, I'm not necessarily always willing to call that bluff when it amounts to nearly 600,000 in sales, right? So what I've done so far is I've clicked on the year 2018. Everybody at this point, Dottie, you're good. And so now let's go back to, so I wanted to put a end of year buy together for them. And
So I clicked
No.
on 18, but my screen don't look like that.
What dealer are we looking at?
That's okay.
Still looking at?
we're at HA Faust.
Right, okay.
Yep. So now let's just say I'm looking for 2019. I'm in November and I'm putting together a buy order. They took a last minute. We'll go through the story of the buy order that Eric assisted on, and Mike and everyone.
But how did you
But-
get your calendar month, year?
Are you
So
looking at that screen?
yeah,
God, you should follow the same dealer. Are you doing
I
HJ
can't.
Faust?
no, we can't do it that way.
Yeah, our screens are different. Okay, so we're there.
Yep, I got what you got.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the difference is yours is on the tab. You have more filters listed here.
Yeah.
Where if you notice that Jeff only has 4 columns. So when I dove into the 3 dots there.
Under which one? 3 dots under full force, cat?
Under the left column here, region, district, territory. This is going to show you.
See, I got, here's what I got. Region, district, territory, Lennox store zone, and main Lennox store. That's
Yep.
all I got.
Click on the 3 dots.
I don't
He doesn't
have
have
There
three
are
dots.
not 3 dots there.
That's where I'm getting confused, 'cause I don't have 3 dots.
And once again, I'm on Jeff's computer, so I know mine probably
It does look a little different.
looks different. So
I think Troy went a different way though. I think his column go across longer. Cause Dottie got.
Dottie's is as well. I think it's this way it's set up.
You got people, you got no dots.
Yeah. He doesn't need dots, he's got people.
And now I'm frozen, so.
No, I hit the back arrow and this is what I'm fucking driving me nuts. I do that a lot. Squirrel.
Squirrel.
Sorry, Kyle.
No, I want to make sure everyone is together here. It's kind of the point.
Yes.
And see, I'm glad we're taking this time. I know it's eating into what we want to do, but if it makes everyone more efficient throughout the year, we've succeeded, you know, so.
Right, Jeff.
Jeffrey.
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 Okay. So that's what I'm going into.
What'd you go into your first one? What was it?
I clicked, I'm sorry, what do you mean?
Product drill down?
No, transactional sales detail.
Do you always do transactional sales?
I do that. I'll tell you what, my favorite one is a stocking program export.
Customer, so I'll put it in the customer.
I love that one. The benefit of this one though is it's nice because
When you
You
do
know,
the stacking program, can you do it all year? What they
Oh,
put
yeah.
over the whole year?
No question.
They didn't put it on second?
no question. But at that point, I would dive into the order type at that point and just do OR. So that way you can show them exactly what they purchased throughout the year that was not on a buy order. If you don't do that, then it's going to bring up regular orders, buy orders. It's going to bring up everything. So the trick is here, when Ryan was going through the link in the AHRI, and I don't use that anymore. I used to. I use Lennox Pros because it's a little bit easier. When I first used that, you had to be so specific as to what you wanted. And I think here too, it gives you the ability to really, yeah. So I mean, while they're doing that,
Can you show me what?
I'm just gonna-
Can you scroll back up?
certainly. So I just have a customer and calendar year. So what's nice about this is when you look at it, you can see exactly, the breakdown, right? So
This really allows you to create specific plans for each of your dealers, doesn't it? To really
Correct.
focus on growth in areas that either they're growing in already or you want to add to the platform.
yeah. So I mean, the left one here, the left graph, is based on product hierarchy. So you're going to see 13ACX. You're not going to see the size. You're not going to, it's not going to be broken down. Where on the right, this is going to be material description. So like for instance, here's a 13ACX 2.5 ton. So this is going to be more detailed. And if you look at this right here where it says sales, you see that little down arrow. If you click on it, you can then change it to quantity. So to Troy's point earlier, somebody wants to know total sales, but no, I want to know how many boxes I moved. Well, here's where you're going to click on quantity. It's going to change it.
A lot of times what I'm seeing when people ask that question, the history of different TMs talking about that, it's been a dealer saying, well, yeah, I argued with you. I got my pricing really competitive, and now I'm moving a ton more boxes, so I've got to be up for you. Because luckily more units are moving.
Well,
But we need both. We need units moved and sales.
yeah. Well, I have a particular customer that comes to mind, and they hit a great milestone this year, something they haven't done in a number of years, a little bit like Dottie's customer. And we did work with them in a number of areas and priced more aggressively, and they still surpassed what they did last year. So that is where I match up quantities. And I'll say, whether it's halfway point, I'll say, you're doing great, your sales are a little bit lower, but I want to show you how positive this is. Because we worked on price, you've actually sold more units. So you're doing wonderful. So I mean, you can turn a very negative report when they see a sales summary. Oh, I'm down $75,000. Don't look at that. You're up here. So you turn it very positive and optimistic. And as we did that throughout the year, they ended up beating their goal while having a better price. I mean, that's pretty impressive. So,
What did they finish at?
$1.1 million, or not quite $1.1 million. No, I think it was like $1 million.
Who's that?
Yeah, Dave Drakamp.
We don't know how we got there.
So I want to talk to you, Dave. I kind of want to do the same thing you're doing with Dottie. I'd like to go in and kind of have a yeah. It doesn't have to be elaborate, but I think that might go, yeah. Especially given the competition we have in there, I think that would really kind of yeah.
Or you can select all three.
So if you look here, it's going to on the
Come up with this.
bill quantity based on the description. You kind of go over and here's
So now you switch that second column to quantity?
yep.
Is the
Well,
first
yeah,
one
you guys get those
first
two
column
cut
still
up.
quantity, or are they
Is there a way to
both
zoom in on that also, Kyle? Because if you've got 0 and then 200, so.
Right,
where
so-
you have to,
You can
Sales on that side, right? And quantity on that side, or no?
no
right.
quantity on the right because I clicked here, Dave. So I went from sales
Yeah,
to
you can
quantity.
put that over there, so you can tab on their side. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But this is a general. This is kind of on the left there. It's based on like SLPs, right?
Category.
And it's just all SLPs. Where on the right it'll be an SLP 45, an SLP 70, an SLP 70, SLP 90. So it gets more specific on the right.
He's asking the question, is the chart on the left?
Now it's quantity.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. My apologies. Eric asked, can you zoom in? And you can. So if you click on the full screen version, it's going to take this graph right here and it's going to make it its own screen. So here we are.
So they
What
purchased
did you just
a
look
lot
at?
of-
Oh, I'm sorry.
Two arrows.
Sure purchased a lot of literature.
Hopefully they didn't purchase it, right?
Well,
Okay.
Okay. Great. So now we're in a full screen. If you ever want to click out of the full screen the same way, click the little X there. You can also at this point you can export it. So if you right click Dottie or anyone in the
Anywhere in there?
yep anywhere in there, you can either view the data or this is where I'll export it. The thing is, if this doesn't really show you a lot, so I don't tend to export something like this. But you can if you want to show them a picture of this. But I'll show you in another sheet something that's more descriptive. But
Okay.
anyway, so if we want to click out of full screen version, if we've all clicked into it, oops. Let's just
Didn't like that.
no, we're good.
No,
Just-
me.
Oh.
They grade,
What to do?
they grade my stuff.
They grade everything?
Rated
You're
it
still
out.
supposed to be.
Yeah, no, I clicked something before I went down to full screen and it's not. So it's like I got it selected. How do I unselect it? Just hit this?
The red X.
Yeah.
No,
No. Yeah.
Okay, great.
That's the other
So-
thing about the charts is if you click on the chart, you can generally dive into, like you click on a bar.
Yeah, correct, yeah.
Whatever that bar is.
That's correct, yeah. What Mike's talking about is if you were to say here, 13ACX, you can click on that and it'll break it down on your right as far as detail. So,
Yeah.
see what happened? Okay.
Yep. That I know.
So I don't want to do that. So now what I typically export, and not necessarily in this screen because it gives too much information, such as a GP, but I'll click in here, I'll right click in here, and something like this is what I'll export. You click on export, export to, I do export data because it'll put it in a spreadsheet. If I do that, I just want to show you what'll happen. It'll, click here to download your file. Are you there? And then click on it, it'll bring it up on the bottom of your screen here. And then once you click and open it, takes a minute.
I don't know if you clicked it or.
I don't know. Yeah, no, it should be going. Well, anyways, it'll bring up the Excel document. So we can close out of that. So Mike had asked a question, do I use this, transactional sales detail often? And I do. But to me, considering how heavy we are as a district and me as a territory on buy orders, I tend to use the next sheet available if you right click. And that's going to be the stocking program export. Yeah, so, and I if Mike didn't pick it up, Dave just said, dang. Yeah. Oh, and Todd is back. Hello, Todd.
Huh? We get any fines?
We did, actually. There was a broken visor.
How?
The plastic screw was off. So he was going to have to charge you for that. And I'm like, really? And he goes, well, let me go in and check. So he went in and checked with the girls. And I know what they said. They said, we just rented 10 snowmobiles. You're not charging for a plastic screw. And then he came back and he goes, there'll be no charge. So
Great.
That could have been my helmet though.
It kept coming off.
it was Troy's. It was the one that was assigned to Troy.
Was there still skid marks inside the helmet?
Yeah. Bacon skids.
Yeah.
Eddie.
I would have said the girls would have done that because I was trying to say, hey, how often are you renting 10 sleds?
Seriously.
And I tried to get us a deal for our overall cost. And being during the week, that's why they knocked us to 130, which was nice. And then, not knowing what it
We're
would.
still under $200.
Now, I didn't stick around for the sled inspection. So, but I mean,
They're gonna call us if there's an issue.
yeah. But I can't imagine that there would be, so, sorry, didn't mean to.
No, it's okay.
This has been an excellent workshop. And we've been through, store stuff, Justin's been at the helm, they've been working together, the team's been really good.
I'd ask what I missed, but I don't wanna
That's okay. Yeah.
waste anybody's
You can
time.
watch it, so.
Yeah, you can watch the video.
You use signature sales, don't you?
No idea what you're talking about. I actually use it every day.
Okay. I was like.
It's the most powerful tool.
It is. Yeah.
There's nothing you can't analyze.
No. And to me, it's not TM and store manager specific. I mean, it crosses all, boundaries, so to speak, and we could talk about it amongst ourselves. I mean, for days, right? So this is a stocking program export sheet that I use, and what you'll notice about.
Now, how did you get there again?
I'm sorry.
With the arrow.
So hit the arrow.
I need to start asking if everyone is on the
I'm
same
with ya.
point. Jeff, you're supposed to be doing that.
Yeah, kind of like in Charlie.
You don't have the
Oh,
microphone,
so it says
so
at the top left, says stocking program export.
that's
Okay.
that's correct.
Kind of like when me and
And-
Charlie were leading and we crossed over to an intersection, we stayed there until everybody was.
That's right. That's right.
Oh,
So thank you, Dottie, for calling me out like that. So the reason I love this is if you notice, there's no gross profit on this particular sheet. So this is one that I use quite often, where I right click again and click export, and I'll bring this right into the dealer, and I'll adjust it based on dollar value or quantity, or sort it rather, whichever one I deems, you know. So
So this didn't
You asked for-
necessarily bring up
no.
specific buy order. It
Thank
brought
you.
up whole-
No, and this doesn't even bring up necessarily buy orders. This brings up, so if I look at this and I go
You
into,
just clicked on stocking program export.
correct, but if nothing, look on the top, you can always tell, Jeff, do you want to be my Vanna? So you can always tell, you know, customer, there you go, customer, calendar year. We have,
Do not.
we have not chosen the order type. So this is stocking program export. All it is a sheet. Until we give it, you know, right, until we give it the filters, this is everything they purchased in 2018 still. It's just a different format. Like I mentioned, it doesn't include GP. It's just a different way to look at it. Now, to your point, Troy, you have a question?
Okay, stocking order that you just showed us with a ZMPO.
Well, so yeah,
How did you know that?
That's what they always are.
and SAP, you know, understanding SAP is where you would.
Okay,
Yeah, or
Yeah.
you can utilize your,
my people.
Your
Yeah.
SAP, you utilize your SAP. Your SAP.
All right, so to Dottie,
I have a question before you go forward on that.
yes, Mike.
So, I didn't clear my screen when I moved forward.
Nor do you have to. It'll stay on there.
Okay, but now I have, mine just show like that. Below it, so it shows year, I mean, am I in something different? Instead of all the,
Well, first of all, you repeated yourself. There's no reason to click on the name and the customer number. So like right here, that's Thielman's
Yeah.
number, right?
Yeah.
Just click off a name. There's no reason to have that. I already did. And then now, what's your question?
so why does it have those blocks?
Yeah, it's a good point. Everyone is set up differently here. I don't know the reason now. If you expanding this view, it'll bring it up. I don't know why you don't have the dots, but if you just expand it to a full screen, it'll bring up all the options for you. Okay. I can't speak to why you know, Jeff's computer set up this way. Your computer, that would be a Mark, you know, Yanni question. So.
A what?
All right, so now
You've into order,
I have not yet. Yeah, so
order type.
Dottie's question under stocking program export was, is it all stocking programs? And it's actually none of them until I click on order type and I go down to ZMPO. And once I click on that, like I said, in the background, you'll notice it'll auto correct itself, but it will not save as a filter until you hit the green arrow. Just want to, or green check mark, I apologize.
Before you even clicked on the ZMPO, what was it all giving us for data right there?
Every order in 2018.
yeah, what's in that top bar? The
Yep.
customer
Yeah.
and the calendar year.
Yeah.
Everything was in.
That's correct. I mean, I'll always go up to what filters you have, and that'll show you what your, apparently not the customer name, which is just really weird. But so, anyways, this is everything they have on
I
a.
feel like we need to have beakers right now around you guys.
We have the,
Yeah,
White
okay.
socks and
Yeah.
Or just the rubber gloves.
So now
Eddie,
there are.
I use a new word for.
So when you so before you export this to Excel, you notice a lot of the data is missing to the right. So you can either use your mouse and move over so you can see what the sales are, or towards the bottom of the information here is a little scroll bar. Okay, or you could do a little bit like you do in Excel before you export it, and you can take this. You don't care about the product hierarchy. You don't care about the marketing, tier. So I mean, that'll bring it into focus. But however you want to do it, it's solely up to you.
So can
Yeah.
that whole screen,
Mhm.
because I'm looking at Kendall's and he's Mr. Numbers and all that.
Sure.
How do I just right click it?
Right click it, export data.
Oh, there's the export. Okay, I didn't see it there.
Yep.
Right.
That's okay. So, Brent, do you have a question or is your?
No.
Okay.
Moving my arm.
All right. So Dottie, here's everything that this particular dealer purchased on a stocking order in 2018. So $212,000, right?
And so, do I have to click in this section or down below section or just anywhere on the screen right?
To export it within. So if you right click up here, it's not going to do. I mean, you have to click within the spreadsheet here, right? So now what's interesting about this is great information, right? $212,000 on a buy order. What is better information though is, let's just go back up to order type. And, I'm sorry. I forget I'm at an intersection. Let me wait.
I'm glad you weren't leading last night.
Oh God. For a lot of reasons, you're glad I wasn't leading last night.
Everybody else was already.
Right.
Yeah, we're not used to that. Finally caught up. I was like, hey, here we go.
Yeah.
We get there, I'm like, awesome, break time. And
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Yeah,
no,
that
that's
was
not-
the only
No
thing when I
breaks.
started riding in the back, is when you hit the intersection, it'd be like, oh, we gotta go.
Let me read that map.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right, but okay, I'm gonna ask a stupid question.
Always.
Always.
I mean, I don't mean
Like that.
I don't mean like that. I mean, like,
I know.
of course you can ask a stupid question.
I export that. It doesn't show me the sales total and the quantity. I gotta put it in myself.
You didn't move shit over.
What do you mean?
It wasn't,
So-
his column wasn't giving him those.
No.
When you export it?
It did. I exported.
Jeff, you're my floater.
Jeff's his people. So I exported it in there, and then I actually had to do a equal sum to add the total. It didn't give me the total like what Kyle's showing on the top right.
Well,
It gave me
that's
the numbers, it didn't
that's not a
give me
huge.
the sum.
You can just highlight the column. It'll give you.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, did I do something wrong?
No.
It's not giving me those.
No, I don't believe so.
Okay.
It's not going to necessarily, for whatever reason, do that.
Okay.
But the power of being able to sort it based on whether it's quantity or dollar value, depending on your dealer, is what's powerful to me. So okay, let's remember this now. So I might look at this, either export it or just write down the number: $212,000 on buy orders in 2018. Now, what's going to be even more impactful is when so remember to cancel out the filter. I can either go to the top, exit, or I can just go right here and click on it again and it'll remove it, right? So $212,000 on a buy order. Now you can already tell because the total came back up. But now, what did they purchase on a normal order, a non-buy order? Do you have a question, Dottie?
No.
Okay.
So you didn't click the red X. You just click the ZMPO and unselect.
That's correct. Or like at the top, you can just exit out.
Okay. Cool.
But right now, I'm going to click on just a normal order. Green check mark, and look at that. So $212,000 is wonderful. It's a great buy order year for anybody, I suppose, depending for their size. But $366,000 on non-buy orders. I mean,
So you clicked on just the O.
that's correct. Yeah. I mean, if you look at that, I mean that's incredible, and that's great information to go back and show. Well, we don't have the cash flow. We don't have this. We don't. I can't carry that much inventory. That's great. Well, more than half of your purchases were purchased where you didn't get anything for it. Nothing.
Let's think about that. This is such a wonderful topic. So their total sales, what, 585?
Yeah, some 5, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what do we all feel should be, out of a $600,000 dealer, how much do we feel they should be buying on buy order?
Between 200,000 and 300,000.
I'd say at least half.
Close to half, yeah.
Yeah, just under half.
Well,
If you
go ahead.
No, what were you going to say?
Well, I was going to bring up another one of my dealers and see what their total is, but
I think it is, I think our coaching on that is really important, because our dealers want, you guys get a tremendous amount of, hey, I need this, but I need a better price. Hey, I need this, can you help me here? Hey, and how much of it's real and how much it's not. I want to believe our dealers are being honest, but if they're using the buy orders correctly, the second orders correctly, they're getting free product. They're getting all the leverage they need to win in the field.
right.
We shouldn't have to do a whole bunch of extra stuff outside the stocking orders, to tell you the truth. I mean, I know we have large quantity orders for jobs, a big job, or, there's some parameters, but,
Mike.
I know it's catching me up.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just wonder, this is great data to be able to show them what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
You bought all this stuff, which is great, but you're not getting anything for it. Now, we could have the A-line, give a report saying something slightly different.
Right.
However, that's where we gotta push back. I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
If they use the tools correctly, it makes our jobs easier, it makes the store's jobs easier. They have the product, now we're just filling in. Gosh, they should be using, we don't make them keep anything for their partners. We'll
I know.
exchange, we'll return, if it's legitimate,
Well,
Okay, I just did one right now because I picked on Kendall because he runs numbers really well. Without having a buy order, his buy order was 630,751. Now, we didn't have a buy in the fall. What he bought off of that was not on a buy order was 6,300 or 6,031.
631, so he's 50/50.
Yeah.
Even without a third quarter.
Without a third quarter.
So the third quarter buy, he's buying probably 65%, 65% buy, which is smart.
Did he got a third quarter buy?
No, he did not. Nobody got a third quarter buy.
Yeah.
it's not going to be designated that way.
Product, but it wasn't a buy.
Well, it wasn't a ZMP at all.
I don't believe so. So, I mean, Troy brought up a great point, and 2018 is probably not the year to use because we did not have a summer buy program. So I should have maybe clicked on 2017. I won't go through that now. We all know how we got here. But
But what a great observation.
well, and even if it's another 100,000, and what's powerful to me, and I can't speak for the other TMs, but I imagine you go through the same thing. I don't want to put it on a buy order because I just don't know what I'm going to sell, right? So you export this and you break it down by the top 5, whether it's top 5 products, and we'll look at that. Number 1 is SLP 70s, right? It's like you sell those all day, every day. You have 30 of them on a non-buy order. Well, something tells me you should probably increase that quantity in 2019 to at least 15 more or 20 more on buy
So
orders.
what I'm looking at right now on your screen, that
Son of a gun.
366, that's what they purchased not on a buy?
That's correct.
Okay, how did you get?
So go to order type.
Okay, so then go to order type.
Yep.
OR. Okay.
Make sure you have ZMPO
Yep.
clicked off. Okay.
Click on sales and
Oh,
see
now I
what
did
they're,
something.
what's the,
Okay.
the header, sorted by sales.
Oh, here?
Yeah. No, just regular click.
You're right. Yeah. If you Mike brought up a good point. If you click on it, it'll sort it. If you click it again, it'll sort it from the least, dollar value. Just like, so yeah, I mean, another new construction dealer, remember? So no surprise that an ML 195 and a 13 ACX are number 1 and 2. So, and if you look at that now, we could also make the argument as well. It's a great point. ML 195s, 13 ACXs typically don't qualify for anything on stocking orders. We had the exception with the ML 195 this year. So those I could probably, throw out for the most part. But look at number 3, it's a SLP.
They're not getting any co-op funds at all either for selling their.
Well, correct, but we're not going to necessarily change that. I mean, it's a slow progression. They're trying to sell more of the high end to builders, but we know that market is going to be.
But that's interesting to look at. It's just in general, maybe not new construction, but, a general dealer on the idea of you buy 120 EL 296 70,000 Vs a year,
Mm-hmm.
but you only buy 40 all year long on a stocking program.
Right.
And you've consistently bought 100 plus.
Right.
So let's go from 40 to 80.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we obviously have to use our best judgment as salesmen and understand that if they don't have the storage capability to take these orders, you're not necessarily going to push it. If they can only take 1 or 2 pieces of equipment at a time, you know how to formulate your argument there, your conversation with them.
And
So
you can break this down to the month, like we're talking about.
yeah, this can go down to, you know,
Stocking order and
said beakers. This
January,
can,
February, March.
yeah, this can go down to the molecular level for sure.
We
So
have Charlie and I, the science guy, in the training room.
yeah,
So Kyle, you have a pretty aggressive CDQ for ML, for the Merit Series product in for them?
no question.
Pretty aggressive?
Yeah.
You know, Ty's a numbers guy, and I don't know how this would affect him, but what if you were to say, hey, let's, instead of a Merit, let's look at the entry-level Elite, so XE13, possibly an EL 195. So that way, you're getting co-op funds. Let's put a CDQ in for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a price increase to that, so I could help you. But also, he'd be getting co-op funds.
Mm-hmm.
His builders would be getting a better product, right? So I don't know if there's a case that you could build with him to move up to Elite.
Well, that's a general statement, and I agree. But you have to remember, on co-op funds, if it is a CDQ, you'd have to get special approval for that to qualify.
I guess that's true, yeah.
And yes, we're giving him money back. We're giving him potentially, because he's a Premier dealer, 2% back. Well, 2% on what he's selling is going to amount to far less than what a CDQ would be. And if I can't match the Merit, he's not going to do it. I mean, it's a case by case, and I agree with you. But in this particular instance,
If they went to an Elite or Merit.
yeah, but it'd be a benefit to the builder, sure.
But it still helps him sell at a higher price.
Yeah,
Be a wash.
right. Yeah, no, I mean,
I'm just looking at this and I'm just thinking, you know.
I know it's a great comment, and that's something that I gained by being with everyone, right? That different, approach, and so I agree.
I couldn't do that with control group. I'm just
Right.
saying, you know, because they're not in cap.
Right.
So they're,
Right.
But like you said, if it's special price items, CQ priced items, then they're not gonna get co-op funds on it anyway.
Yeah, but that would work for maybe a non-new construction dealer. That's a great argument to have, and so thank you for that. But so this is something that I use most often, and I find to be most impactful. So what else do we want? It's 10 o'clock. I want to be
Kyle, do you
We
have
kind
a
of got
printer
off
at home?
topic,
aware of time. Yeah.
Do you have a printer at home, or are you using the one in the copy room when you create these reports?
No, I print it at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he can't use the one in the copy room.
I can't. I'm still not able to for some reason.
He's gotta have people for that.
With my
Mike,
God, you'd be so lucky, Mike, to only have to print things for me.
Is it with your new computer?
Yeah.
You can't-
Yeah, I was on with IT trying to get them to recognize the printer in Milwaukee for like a week, and yeah. So let's kind of go.
It is really interesting to see. I just pulled up House of Heating,
Yeah,
and basically, like we were saying, they hit $1 million. They did 530 in buys.
there you go.
wow.
I think I'm frozen.
That 50% is a consistent.
It's crazy. House.
I'm frozen.
That's without bias, it's with a third buy.
So maybe it truly is over.
Yeah.
My computer is not back to 2017.
I know if it was me, I
17.
don't want to do as much.
Oh, there we go. We're good.
If I own the company, I did.
Thank you.
My shop in Peterson. I wanted to put as much money in my pocket as I could.
Both House and Hurlburt, and even Hublands, really try hard to hit that first buy program
So,
because they know that the highest benefits.
what's compared to, what they do in 2017?
With you guys bringing this kind of information to them, there's not many distributors that can do this and bring this information to them. They have something close, but I don't think you can drill down as close as this. At least
So-
that I'm aware of.
And something kind of a shortcut I want to show everybody with what I just went through, the example between a normal, regular order and a buy order. So if I unclick the order type, so in this instance I only have a customer and a calendar year on the top of the screen there under filters. And I scroll all the way to the bottom. It wasn't populating before, so now it just did, so I want to show you. There's a pie chart down here.
Yeah.
Okay? And you can print that pie chart and show them, hey, look, 18% of your orders are on buy orders.
That's such a great visual.
Right. And a lot of people are visual. If you want to put together a packet for somebody right before a buy order, and here's your packet, review it with your team and let me know what you think. And great.
So how,
Faust.
okay, some of those pie charts are interactive too.
Correct. Yeah.
Interesting that that's only.
Like for instance, I mean, I can have fun.
Are you kidding me? You
Anyway,
can spit.
I'm
guys get excited over the dumb stuff.
I'm DJ tonight, okay, guys?
That's why you women have so much control over us.
Yeah.
Eddie!
Yeah. So and something, another kind of shortcut, which I
But is that accurate? That
I-
doesn't seem accurate.
That's,
to me.
I don't
Yeah, I don't-
think that's accurate, because I'm looking at one and there's.
It's
Gonna go to
data.
the next meeting,
It's
like,
What
data.
the hell is Eddie?
well,
Take that for data.
no, because you're right. 598 to 200. It's yeah. It's
Not accurate.
well,
I went to
well,
2017 on how.
because non-GMO
Their
ZMP
total
loans.
purchases in 17 were 866.6.
Yeah.
And when I go down to the pie chart, it's saying 18%. When I go to the order type and do a ZMPO, it's giving me a total of 480.
Okay, so I
480.
typically it's I can't.
Yeah.
So is that
So that's gratis orders.
Gratis.
It includes more, but
Oh,
to be that far off would
Returns are on there.
that's weird.
to be that far off for like yeah.
Returns.
would literature be?
Commercial orders are on
Literature is
there.
on there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna skew it then.
I'm gonna have to ask a question because, but that yours is like 50-50. I mean, to go from 50% down to 18 is pretty unlikely, even given all those other categories.
Pie chart's not right.
So I'll send an email and I'll see what I can do on that.
Okay, so it's ZMPO and what was the other one? OR. Oh, okay.
OR shows everything. But I do like your DJ.
Yeah.
That's good.
Is OR, do you use
I think
OR
it's
as
ZG.
a?
Thank you.
I think it's ZRT.
Likes to spin it.
I know.
Because I went back to 2000.
It's a spin cycle, is that right? Yeah.
Looked at the.
Cut that.
450.
Yeah.
But then I looked at buy,
Yeah.
either out of 450, it's 320
Wow.
buys.
Wow. That's great.
But then if you look at it, his buy order was only 18%.
Well, what I'm noticing right now, the commonality is 18%. There's something wrong with the system because we're all getting the same pie chart.
That's just showing you how
It's non-ZMPO. However, can you,
And
Yeah.
oops, I gotta get out of this. Can you click on that pie
It's
chart?
only at 18.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think,
I can.
because there's no Mike's 18.
And I'm sure our numbers are going to be the same quantity, non-ZM,
This
ZM.
one gets bigger and spins.
I'm just wondering if this is maybe if this is showing the entire district or my entire. Oh no, I don't know.
You could be a customer in there.
Well, I know, but everyone's getting the same pie chart. So I mean, if all TMs are getting it, maybe it's the entire district, or maybe it's just a default where there's something wrong with it. So yeah. All right, so I feel like I'm frozen again here.
Yes, Charlie, if you got Dan from Samson. Thank you. Yeah, I think so too. I'm hoping he got it. He said
Kyle,
he
have you
sent
used
it
that
over.
yet with a dealer showing them what they bought and buy against what they,
Certainly.
and again, to this point, it picks up credits and commercial and all these other
Right.
things, so it may be a little skewed, but it would, to me, it would seem as though it would help them, get more assertive with buy orders if they're not.
Right. I mean, the start of my conversations now, because we are, and I'm not saying this because Todd is in the room, but parts and supplies are such a huge focus for us. I'll be very open with them, and I'll show them their sales summary. And if it's under, say, 10%, even if it's at 10%, I'm like, I need this number to get to 15%. And then I'll bring in their parts and supply purchases off a buy order, and I'll say, look at what you missed out on. Can we get that number to 15%? And usually it's so alarming to them that they tend to follow suit and listen. But
My screen screen doesn't look like that with the dollar amounts. It has the,
Yep. So, and I'm trying to get back because I wanted to see if it would work, and it does. Right click it.
right click that chart. That
The chart. Yep. And then does it say view view data? Yep.
Or data?
Yep.
Sorry.
Okay.
Data or data?
That's
Whatever
up.
you pick.
Data was part of a TV show, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that Star Trek? Yeah. So depends if you're a sci-fi guy or not, I guess. So I don't know where else to go because I want to make sure we do have time. So I want to be aware of it. What does the agenda say right now? I don't know where we are.
10:12. It says Mr.
5-minute break.
Yeah, well, let's take a break. Absolutely. Everyone can get up
We
and.
have a break at 10:15 to 10:30,
Wow, that worked out well.
and then we have 10:30 to 11:30 are putting it all together, period.
Great. And with
Actually, as long as we are all together and Dave's okay with this and I have my computer hooked up,
Yeah.
we were talking, I want to show you guys a video. Hopefully you're okay with this. It's actually a video my son made, but we were talked about the Mongolia, whatever. Mongolia type of thing. So, Magnolia. Okay.
Jeff, just remember like
Not a
movie,
Mongolian grill.
your favorite movie, Steel Mongolias, it's just like that, okay?
I thought
He even said it right. He's like, Steel Mongolia? Your favorite movie?
Yeah.
You just like.
So I think Dave has actually seen this video before.
Sounds good.
What's Sally Field name? Here we go.
Working on it right now.
You have Facebook on your computer?
So, as far as you guys, most of you guys know, I volunteer at a local animal shelter, and my
He does awesome
I'm
stuff.
a good one.
A loaf of bread with candles? I have never seen that.
No, that's my mom making fun of me.
Your mom was?
Yeah,
Aw,
because my birthday's it's
Those are already-
it's right after Christmas.
okay.
Sorry, that was us making. Okay, here it is.
Your son looks different.
Let's see.
Oh, come
You
on.
can expand it free.
Who said that out loud?
Oh,
I did not.
how do I make this go full screen? Do you know?
Go right down, the two arrows at the bottom.
Next to the.
This one.
Okay, hold on.
Pause it.
I'll start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See the that receiver next to you, the big round dial? That's your volume.
Oh, right.
Big round dial. Jack it up.
Big round black dial.
This was it. Can I get it? Well, I guess you guys can kind of see that.
Can
Right?
still do it.
Yeah.
Hit it again.
Hit it again. It's this one.
Nope, nope.
Nope.
Oh.
Still fading.
So hit the arrows next to the speaker. And then try it again.
Arrow,
Next to
four
what?
arrows.
4 arrows now.
Next to the speaker, the
Keep
floor
going.
house.
Oh.
There you go.
There it is. Oh.
Okay.
Yay.
You can run Salesforce, but man,
Like you try to run a video. So anyway, I thought this was kind of neat because it shows what a group of people can accomplish, right?
Is this a project you had to do or something?
No, he does this. This is what he does. He's only 15.
I'm Jody Shank. I teach 6th grade life science at Parkview Middle School, and I decided to create an HEA Kids Pack. Spreading HEA's mission to the next generation was just a natural fit for me. As a Parkview Middle School teacher, connecting on a personal level with kids is important. Sharing my HEA stories and what I've learned as an animal advocate and volunteer helps me make those connections. The comment, "Wouldn't it be cool to have an HEA club for kids?" was all it took. Many of my students expressed interest, so this year we dove in. I wasn't sure what to expect our first meeting, but every chair was full, as were the countertops. It was standing room only. The pack has exceeded 100 members. This group is a pack of athletes, swimmers, runners, dancers, soccer players, and ball players. They're non-athletes, bookworms, gamers, scouts, and babysitters. They're 6th graders, 7th graders, and 8th graders. You get the idea. Everyone fits. But more importantly, they're a pack of animal lovers who get it, that every companion animal matters. In our brief time together, the kids have impacted HEA and our community in amazing ways. At our kickoff meeting, the pack made posters that promoted HEA's Pet Walk. They also added chalk art messages at the Steps for Pets walk site that greeted nearly 500 people at the starting line. In our next meeting, we baked more than 400 bags of dog treats with a simple message about what HEA stands for. We then marched in the Ashwaubenon High School homecoming parade and passed these special treat bags out to the community. We've even taken 3 field trips to HEA's adoption center. With nearly 100 members, we had to split the pack into 3 groups. Pack kids were treated to a tour. They helped prepare the HEA newsletters for mailing, learned about the Marion Sanctuary, learned about rescue animal care, and even got to socialize with our rescue animals. We've begun our very own supply drive and have plans for many other ways we're going to help the animals at HEA. These kids are invested. They understand that HEA cares for nearly 200 animals every day and sometimes more. They also understand that just like the kids in our pack, all of the animals at HEA fit.
Oh. Shoot. I don't know what happened.
An escape.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I did that.
It's buffering, I betcha.
Oh, yeah, it is.
They love Sam, the dog with one eye. They cuddle Kona, one of our seniors, with gentle, loving care. Every single animal was treated with loving kindness and respect. I have a poster, front and center, in my classroom that reads, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." The HEA Kids Pack is an amazing example of the change I wish to see in the world.
And I thought if I donated, we could get some more food, get some more supplies, get more like needs for them.
This group is really important to me because I see all these kids coming together to help animals. That's what's amazing about this group, that we just help with all we can.
The big goal is to create the next generation of people that will understand that the life of every companion animal, every single one, matters.
That's my son. He actually owns his own company.
Awesome.
At 15.
So Jeff, tell us a little about it. You've been working there for years, haven't you?
I'll try.
Taking care of animals and bringing animals home and.
Yeah, I was talking to Kyle last night, and on Saturday we actually did a transport of 48. Excuse me.
Do you want me to tell?
Oh, it's hard.
So they took in a transport of 48 dogs from Texas, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they were on a 27-mile journey from Texas to the shelter, and they started I think around 9 o'clock unloading the dogs, and they had to separate them because they weren't sure which ones were vaccinated, which ones were not. So they separated them into groups and kind of quarantined them. We kind of talked about, and then they didn't leave until probably after midnight.
Mm-hmm.
After everyone was separated, went to the bathroom, fed, then went to the bathroom again, and that was the 3rd largest transport they had. I think they had like 52 at one point, 50, and then this 48. So it's pretty incredible. I was blown away by how many dogs.
Right.
And I asked a question. I said, "Well, why all the way from Texas?" You know, and in Wisconsin, apparently, we do a fairly good job of of
Yeah.
caring for it, because I mean, Texas, you have, is it Georgia?
Yeah, Texas and Georgia are like one of the 2 highest kill states in the United States. So the big thing is if we didn't take those dogs, they would have been dead Sunday.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, missed it by a day, and they took him in, and the amount of work that he does is incredible. I mean, almost every waking moment that he has when he's not with his kids, he's there, and it shows an incredible amount of commitment. And
It's awesome. And actually,
love,
one of the things
obviously.
when we were looking at hiring Jeff or trying to get Jeff over from our, this was a talking point that we had for our group of people, was first thing he did in his interview was we were in the middle of his interview. He says, "Hey, listen, Dave, I'm really sorry to cut you short, but I have to go pick up my kids right now. Can we push up this interview later?" You would think that you'd be taken off the list, but for me, that was like, yes, he sees what's more important. It's family.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing with the animal shelter, we talk about that a lot, and you brought that up. And you know, it's just, it's the heart, it's the giving, it's the who you are aspect of things. It's a big difference, and your work is saving lives, buddy. Doing great.
The big thing with the video is that I want you guys to get is if those 100 kids can do something like that and have that amount of power, and why, like Dave said, why can we not do this as a group?
it shows all it takes is an idea powerful enough to get people involved. And I'm not saying that was a simple process, but it took that teacher to say, okay, I want to do this, and then everyone just, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was simple in the sense that, to your point, why can't we? Why can't we accomplish what we set out to do?
Yeah.
What that teacher's doing, too, when you think about it, what's the compound effect that each of those kids are going to have, the ripple effect that they're going to have throughout their lives?
Not only that, but just every year you think about that, you know, the amount of kids, and then those kids are going home and telling their parents like what they did that day. And,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
Jeff, thanks for sharing this.
Yeah.
You know,